Hi everybody, it's Matthew here from Bead Spider. How are you all doing today? Today is going to be lots and lots of fun. So I'm going to be doing for you a Cameo inspired pendant that we've got as part of our majestic jewellery collection. So if you're wondering what that is, essentially what we've done with the Queen's Jubilee coming up really soon, we've created a pack which has 4 designs which are all sort of Union Jack themed, but actually I've also done some bonus patterns, which if you get the kit, which are 4th of July themed as well. So we've got the Union Jack bracelet and also the 4th of July version bracelet. We've got the Union Jack kite pendant, which looks like this, which I think is super cool. There's my little kite pendant, which I've also got a 4th of July pattern version of that as well. And then of course we've got the earrings and today's tutorial, which is the Cameo pendant piece. So if you want to see what that looks like, I'll just hold it up for you just. So yeah, there we go. This is the design that we're going to be doing here, which you can do it with the crystals in the center like this if you want to make it like a crystal cameo type thing, or you can do with the plain center and you can use this as a little open section to put a photograph into. So hence there's no actual carved face involved, but you do have the ability to put your own personalized face in there if you want to, because of this lovely hollow section in the middle there. So anyway, the fun techniques that we're going to be doing today are circular brick stitch. Circular brick stitch around this little metal piece in the center there. And we're going to work outwards. I'll show you how you can turn this design into its earring form, like this, if you want to make a little plain earring. But otherwise, you can also do the earring with the open center. And then, of course, I'll show you how to get this really cool picoed edge that really makes it look like a cameo pendant. And of course, I really like this. I almost wish that we'd done it in a different color, but it's almost like the little crown regalia type thing at the top of the Queen's seal, which I thought was a really cool touch that Jermaine managed to design and put into it. So I'm going to go through the whole process of how to make the entirety of this. Don't forget, of course, if you want to get the kit, for this one, we're going to have the patterns up available soon, but not yet. But the kit itself, if you want to get that one, there's a little link down in the description. If you're on YouTube, the description is below. If you're on Facebook, it's up above. And you'll be able to go and get the kit, which there's the pendant. This is the little the kite brooch piece just there, the British bracelet. I'll show you in the purple version, which is only partially ready, but looks really cool, which is the reason we've done it in purple, silver, and white are because it's our limited edition color for the Queen's Jubilee, because those are the colors of the Queen's Union flag for the Jubilee. So it's like a special edition Jubilee flag, and so we've done a special edition Jubilee bracelet in that colorway as well. So that's why we also have the purple, silver, and white Union Jack. So if you want to go and get those, go check them out. And then there's the earring as well. I'll also show you how you can do the earring and get this really clean finish on the top there too, which is super easy to do as well. Anyway, so let's begin. First things first, let's say hello to the people who've joined us. Speaking of the people who've joined us, lots of you probably watched last week when I did this gorgeous little leather bracelet. If you missed that tutorial, this is what the finished piece looks like. Go check out the video if you want to. This is last week's video. If you head to the Bead Spider homepage, you can see all of our previous tutorials. So that's a great way if you want to go and see how to make this little piece. That's what I did last week. Who have we got joining us already? So we have, let me get my findings right while I do this. We have Dana was here. We've got Nancy, Colleen, Kim. We've got Eliza. We've got Stacy. We've got Mandy, which Mandy says, "Good morning, all." Sandy says, hello, Matthew. Lovely to see you, Sandy. Sandy's been a long time watcher, so very glad to see you here, Sandy, as well. We've got Margie, who's in South Carolina. We've got Jackie as well. Nancy says, the purple is pretty. Which color do you guys like? Do you prefer the purple version, or do you prefer the blue and blue, red, and white version? Mandy also likes it. And then we've got Kelly McCoy, who I haven't seen for a very long time. She's in Australia. The clocks have changed, I guess. So clearly, hopefully, it's a little bit easier for our Australian viewers to watching. So lovely to see you, Kelly. So yeah, let me just show you the findings that I'll be using today. So basically, this is our little central piece just here. It's like a nice oval-shaped connector that is nice and solid. It's actually a piece of handmade chain that is really, really strong and firm, lovely quality, doesn't flex or move, which is what we want for the eye of our little pendant piece. So we also have this little rope connector, which I thought looked very, very nice as well, which is going to attach to our little pendant. So if you have a look, there is that rope connector in action. We do also give you this nice, it's man-made silk called rayon, a little man-made silk cord. So there's 5 strands of the man-made silk on the outside to make it lovely and soft, and then a big thick core of polyester running through the center that makes it nice and thick. So yeah, those are there. We also have our earring stud, which I really like this one because it has this nice little stud piece, but also instead of the ear wire being sideways, it's flat. So that means we can sort of have things that are going to sit in the same direction as our ear wire, which I really like that as well. So these are our different findings. As per usual, I'm using our Spider beading thread just so it's nice and easy for you guys to see. I've got a lovely bright blue color, which is going to be nice and useful, hopefully, for all of you. Also, by the way, I should mention, I've got a tiny test piece of my USA bracelet. There it is, just there. This is an example of part of it. It'll have a little A there, and then lots of little stars and stars on the blue background here with the stripes at the bottom. That's the one there. And of course, I've got the pendant in that style too. So this is the purple pendant, the kite. But anyway, so with this little piece here, I'm going to tie on to this little metal piece. So if I give myself some thread, I don't need too much, and I'm not going to use too much because then it will just get in my way. But basically, you can just tie your your thread to this little finding piece just here. So as per usual, Spider thread, it's great quality because it doesn't fray. So I will just pop my thread onto a needle here, just through that little eye of my needle. Don't forget, of course, all of our kits include thread and needle if you need them, so not to worry about that. If you are getting thread, it will come in. If you are getting the kit, it will include all the instructions, and of course you also get the thread and needle included. So anyway, just to attach this, I'm going to just tie some standard overhand knots. That'll be fine for today, I think. So, I mean, whatever sort of knot you prefer, you can just do that. But essentially, I'm going to just do like a double knot. So over, under, pull it tight and get it. That's just one. If you leave enough of a tail, you can also use it to make your little drop section. So bear that in mind when you're making this little piece just here. Do leave a tail enough that you can actually make your drop if you want to do the drop section. Otherwise, if you prefer it just plain, then feel free to do that instead too. See, look, here is an example of how you could use it as a little cameo just there, which is super cute. So you can just put your picture inside of it, which I should show it to you on the fully finished one. Here we go. And then that is just a teeny wee little picture there, and it sits nicely on the inside to turn it into that sort of cameo style if you want to. You could just glue it straight onto the back there. I have a feeling that is a picture there of little Leonardo. But anyway, so I'll just tie this once more to the end there. Pull that tight. There we go. And I can begin, if I want to do one more knot, just to make sure it's really, really tight. We don't want this coming undone. I mean, we will go further into tightening it a bit later, but just for now, there we go. And we can position this little knot wherever we want. So I'm going to do it just here at this top corner section. And now we can begin doing our... what's it called? The circular brick stitch. So if you want to do that just there, 1 second, let me just pop the comments so I can see. Don't forget, everybody, of course, please do, if you're watching, like, share, subscribe, all of those sorts of things just there. It's always appreciated. We're at almost 33,000 subscribers over on YouTube, and I think somewhere in the region of nearly 10 on Facebook. I don't know, I haven't checked Facebook for a little while. But anyway, on this particular design, I'm going to do one color all the way around. So if you have a look at how I've done this one, you can choose whether you want to do it sort of like this, where it goes you know, one color, then the next, then the next. I mean, you could even do stripes if you wanted to. You could play with the design if you want to. But just to make it nice and simple, I'm going to just do plain red on the inside of my piece just here. So to get started, it's important that you do 2 beads first. So I'm just working with the red ones here for now. I'll grab my little beads just here. Here we go. And pick up 2 beads. So if you've ever done brick stitch, this first row is nice and simple. Essentially what we're going to do is attach these beads to the edge of this little ring just here. So the way that we're going to do that, we're going to pick up 2 beads. I'm going to thread them all the way down to the base of that little ring. Then I'm going to go underneath this little loop here. Don't pull too tight, because otherwise it'll just come undone. And then we're going to go through the second bead. So if you have a look, this is the second one here. Our thread is going this way like this, goes under here through this little metal loop, and now we're going to go back in the opposite direction through just the second bead. So this, when we pull this tight, is going to create a little loop here. If you have a look, I'll zoom in a bit closer even so you can see. There we go. As you pull this tight, this thread is going from here through both beads underneath this little bit of metal here, and then when we create this, when we go back through this second bead, it creates a little loop that we can then pull against. So see that? As you pull that tight, that's going to sit really nicely against your work. There we go. See that there? That's easy. If this one here doesn't quite want to sit right, that's also okay. Don't worry about that. We will fix that too. So anyway, we're going to just continue that process now. So I've got 1 bead more now. I'm going to go underneath. I'm going to pull it all the way tight. If I keep my finger here, you can see that my finger is stopping the bead from sort of pulling through or anything. So if I didn't have my finger there, the bead could very easily just sort of go straight underneath the metal, but by keeping my finger there, I can just go straight back up it, pull tight, and that's going to sit nicely beside the next one. Then we can just sort of continue that process. So underneath this little metal bar again, pull all the way through and keep my finger there, keeping it nicely pressed tight, because then that will stop that little red bead from going underneath. We can go back up that bead again, and we just pull tight. So there we go, there's another one. Go back underneath there again. Make sure we've got our finger. Whoops, did I let it go through? No, I don't think so yet. Keep your finger pressed there so that it stays in the right spot, which I haven't done, obviously. There we go. Pull, 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 so that it's staying on the outside. Go. See, look, our thread goes over the top. Ready? See, our thread is over the top. So the thread goes underneath this little piece. We're going to go back over the top of it and then back up through that little red bead there. Pull it tight and it's going to lock nicely against that little side bit there. So, wait a second. Let me just, there we are. Now I can see everything. So, just keep going, keep going, keep going like that. Keep your finger pressed against so that it's really easy. Go back up through the bead in the opposite direction to which you've just come, and that's going to lock it in place. I'll flick on over to right-hand view because I know some of you prefer it. So there we go. I'm now looking like I'm right-handed, so I'll do the same process again. I'm going to pick up one bead. I'm going to go underneath that loop, so between my finger and the loop there, pull all the way through, keeping my finger pressed tightly against that little metal piece so that the bead gets stuck nicely inside the, nicely beside that piece of metal, and then I'll just go back up again. And literally, we're just going to continue all the way around our piece, just like this, until we get all the way around. So I will show you how we do one whole row, will I? Yes, I will. Because it is very, very quick and simple. It's not going to take too long. By the way, it's also important to not be too worried about them being too close to each other. It's better if they're a little bit further apart, just because then you've got spacing to, well, I mean, to sort of like, you've got leeway, shall we say. So if there's any problems, you can always bunch them back up. But if it's too full, it's harder to stretch them apart if it's already too full. So if you've got too many beads, it's far easier to have one bead too few than it is to have one too many. So essentially, we're going to just keep going, and the right size that we need for this, whoops, didn't have my finger pressed against the thing. So let's just pop that back through there. There we go. Yeah, the right sort of size that we want for this piece is until we have, I think it's 27 beads, but you'll soon see. It's not too crucial on these first few rows. It gets a little bit more crucial on the latter rows, but just keep working around until eventually you're in that position. So I'll go back under there again, keep my finger nicely pressed. You can just sort of keep moving your work around so that it's easy for you to keep your finger pressed in place. If they start sliding around, that's fine. As you pull them tight, they will come back into position. So we'll just go under here now, keeping my finger pressed against to lock that bead in place. And let's go back up it. And then this is when it will become tight. See, look, it's a bit far away. We just pull that tight and that will get that nicely into position as well. Did I go up? Did I get caught under my thread bridge? It looks like I did, actually. Just wait, it should be easy to fix. Just undo that one. Ah, I see what I did. How have I done that? I just got my thread in a small knot, it would seem. Have I got a knot there? Can't tell. I'm looking very closely at it now. Oh well, I'll just undo this little bit, take my needle off, and I can just pull that little bit undone. I could have just kept going. You probably never would have noticed, but I noticed these things, and being the perfectionist that I am, I couldn't let it stay. So I had to get there and fix it back up. So hopefully this will just come undone nicely. That little bit of a knot. So that's something to keep aware of, is that you want to make sure that you don't accidentally get your threads in a bit of a knot, because they can get caught. So I'll just pop my needle back on there now. See, the handy thing, like I said to you, if you're using Spider-Lon, you don't have to worry about the needle, the thread fraying. It's going to be super easy to just get that back on the end there. There we go, back on my needle, and I'm ready to continue. So let's just pull that one tight. Bring the thread back under. And back up that bead without getting ourselves caught this time. There we go. Much better. And let's just slide that down. There we are. Do my next one. Under here. And back up the bead. There we go. And just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. I'm trying to do this whole row. I'm going to be doing it much quicker after I've done this first row. It's just that I want you to see the entirety of this first row before we continue on. Have I just done that again? How have I done that? All I did was pull the thread through. Didn't even have a... Oh, that's why. There we go. I just needed to pull it a bit harder. Silly me. There we go. Go back up that bead there. And keep your tail thread out the way. Pull tight. And there we go. That's better. Do the next one. Go underneath here. Keep your finger pressed against. Oops. Did I drop the bead? Yes. And back up the next bead. And just squeeze them into position as we go along. We don't want them too squeezed up, don't forget. They need to have a little bit of space. There we are. Back up the next bead. Then the next one. See, we're almost there. We're almost at the end. Oh, nearly dropped my bead there. Keep my finger pressed against that edge. There we go. And back up that bead. Just a few more, and then I'll be able to show you how we do our next row, how we start our next row, and then I'm going to just jump straight ahead until we're quite a bit further into it. So just a few more beads, and then we will be able to progress much, much quicker. This first little row is going to take us a little bit of time, and then after that, we will be blasting through it. So keep a hold of your seats. Pull through and back up the bead. Ooh, just a bit out of shot there, sorry. A few more. Who's new, by the way? Who's never watched any of my streams ever before? That's what I want to know. Who's here for the very, very first time? If you've got any questions as well, let me know. Anything you want to know, I am here at your disposal. Just put a big Q at the beginning and I will answer it as best I can. So yeah, once we've got past this first row just here, it becomes super, super straightforward. It just is almost like normal brick stitch. So just do a couple more. we're almost there. I'll zoom out just a teensy-weensy bit so that I stay in shot the whole time, and then I'll show you how to finish a row and then how to start the next row, and then we can just jump right on ahead. So let's go one more bead just here. Keep that tail thread out of the way. And there we go. Up through that one. We're nearly there. A few more. So yeah, when it comes to the very end, my biggest suggestion is do one bead less rather than one bead more. So if you've got space for one bead and it's a really snug, tight fit, don't do it. Go one bead less than that, because if it's a snug, tight fit, it might become a bit of a headache later on down the line. But if it's just one bead short, it's only going to leave you a tiny bit short. You'll just have a small little bit extra space between each of the beads, but that's almost always the better solution. So if I just go underneath a few more, I'll probably stop with just one or two more beads. So you'll soon see that less is often more. So in this gap here, if you have a look at it, you go, yeah, you'd probably fit two in there. Don't do it. Just put one. Because if you try and get two, they'll sit a bit wonky and it becomes much harder to work and it looks a lot uglier too. Let's just put one bead in that big gap there, and then we will move on to our final row. We will be much better off for having done that because we can spread everything out a little bit and it's going to be much neater in the end. So as I pull that up, you can see there's a tiny bit of space there. It's like, oh, could I fit a bead in there? The thing is, if you tried to, I'll show you, I'll do it. You'll see it's almost going to fit, but it's not quite going to sit straight. It's going to be a little bit wonky. And if you've got one that's a little bit wonky, it makes the whole thing wonky. Where with this, if we just go through that final bead, go underneath, try and keep my tail thread out of the way. There you go. It closes that gap up straight away, and it doesn't cause us any issues. I can just go straight back up this bead, and whoops, get it back in shot. And you see, even though we had space for what looked like one extra bead, we didn't really. And now you can see it's a much cleaner fit. They all just sort of space around very, very nicely. Have you tried making this with other shapes? Kelly asks. Yes, this would work with circles. You can do it with hexagons. Essentially, if you can tie onto something, you can do this style of circular brick stitch around it. So it's very, very fun. In fact, you can even do it. I did it in one of my tutorials at the end of last year as part of my Jewelry Makers collection, where you can do it around a single bead. So you could have like a big 8mm bead or something like that. And then as long as you've got a thread going all the way around that bead that you can attach to, you can do your circular brick stitch. So that's a question there from Kelly. Can you do this with other shapes? Yes, you can even do it around single beads if you wanted to. If you've got like a big 8mm bead or something like that, you just sort of weave around the bead and then you use that edging of thread to work. So anyway, now let's me show you how you would do your second row. So just like the previous one, I'm going to do them all just in the same single color. I'm only going to do a few beads though, so don't worry, I'm only going to do probably 3 or 4 beads at most. I'm not going to go all the way around, but basically this same technique is the one that we're going to use to get us all the way around the entirety of our piece here. So just like before, we picked up 2 beads to start a row. Every time you're going to begin, whoops, I got the wrong color bead. Every time you're going to begin, you use 2 beads each time. Always 2. That's how a row begins. Otherwise, you will not be able to attach it to the actual piece. Because if you think about it, if you had 1 bead and you just went up and then back down, there's nothing locking the bead in place, if you know what I mean. So we have to pick up 2 beads so that our thread goes from 1 bead to the next bead and then down. So if we have a look, the cool thing is, if you have a look just here, I'll just zoom in so you can see. See how there's that tiny, too far. There we go. So see how there's all these tiny little bridges of thread? This is what we're going to be attaching to. The cool thing about this is that you don't have to be too worried about which one you attach to. You can just sort of go as per what is easy for you. So for example, what I mean is I'll pick up 2 beads and I'm going to go under this first thread bridge just here. I'm going to just pull that tight like so. And just like we have been, essentially instead of using the big piece of metal, we're using these little bridges of thread to attach our work to. So if you have a look just there, my thread goes underneath that bridge of thread just there. See? We pull it tight, and then I'm going to go back up the second bead that we've just added. Like I said, like I did in the last time, if this first bead is a bit flappy on the end there, that's fine. We're going to fix that right at the very end when we finish this row off. So there we go. Now I've got to pick up 1 bead. We can go, yeah, I'll just sort of go around here somewhere. It doesn't matter really which thread bridge you use. You can just sort of look at the spacing of where you are up to. So you can attach either to the next thread bridge or use the same thread bridge twice. Just sort of have a little look at it and you'll soon see that one will sort of be the most appropriate one to use. You probably only have to use the same thread bridge more than once, probably only a total of 3 times or so all the way around this second row. But you can also see it's way quicker and easier to do once we've got that first row done, because you don't have to worry about the beads accidentally getting underneath the little bridges of thread here like you had to worry about the metal. So it can be done super quickly in comparison to your previous row. Just find the most appropriate thread bridge, pull it tight, and just keep on going. See, look at that. Isn't that quick and easy? I've already done like a quarter of it. I could just keep going if I wanted to. And it's going to just keep adding beads, adding beads, adding beads. So just go back up. The only thing you've got to be wary of... Ooh, sorry, that is horrendously out of focus. There we go. We can just keep going, keep going, keep going. The only thing to be wary of is that you don't accidentally go back under the same thread bridge when you come back up. So if you have a look, see how my needle goes under that little blue bridge of thread? As long as I don't somehow go with my needle too tight to it that I go back underneath there again. So like if I went somehow back underneath that little thread bridge like that, so see how I'm under the thread bridge again, if I pulled that through, that would just take my thread all the way back through that little bridge of thread, and that bead is going to pop right back off. It does happen sometimes, but it's easy to avoid. So anyway, that is the process of doing your second row. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. As easy as that. Finish it off when you get to the end in the same way that we did the other one. The same technique applies where it's far easier to ignore a bead, to have one bead too few, than if you've got one bead too many. So anyway, we're going to keep going all the way around until we get to a point like this, where we have 3 full rows. Once we have 3 full rows, had 3 full rows somewhere. Did I? Maybe I didn't. Anyway, okay. Well, the earring, if you wanted to do it as the earring, you would do it until you have 3 full rows. Come on. There we go. So yeah, for the earring, you would have 3 full rows, like so, and then ignore this little bit in the middle. 3 full rows like this, but because we're doing the Cameo pendant, we're going to continue until we have 5 rows. So because we're doing the Cameo, we can also change our pattern if we want to, so it's a little bit more Union Jack-esque. So see how in the flag there's like the red, well, I'll show you it on the other one, the one here, where you've got the silver down the center, surrounded by white, and then there's purple on the edging as well. You can sort of bring that same feel to your Cameo pendant if you want to, but basically once you've got to the end of 5 rows, it'll look like this just here. Now from this point, it's very important when you're doing that 5th row that you have an odd number of beads in your outer row. So when you're doing this, be very careful to make certain that you do have an odd number of beads. It should be, I think, somewhere in the region of 43. I can't be absolutely certain, but it is important that you have an odd number so that we can do this little crown regalia bit at the top here that we attach to. I'm going to have a nice sip of tea. And we're going to turn this ring into this more Cameo style, which if you wanted to, you could even use like a gold bead on the outer edge just for that cool Cameo looking effect. But so essentially I'm going to use my purple beads now that come with the Jubilee themed design, and just pop some of those out. This time I'm going to be picking up beads in groups of 3 instead of single beads. Also, I'm not working in brick stitch anymore. I'm sort of adding picots. So if you don't know how to add a picot, you're about to find out. It's a nice and simple process. In fact, it is super simple. It's even easier than doing the circular brick stitch. It's really, really quick and easy. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just pick up 3 of my purple beads. Let me just check my zoom level. Yeah, this is a good level of zoom. So I don't want to go across the top. I'm going to use those beads later. So we want to ignore the 3 topmost beads. These are the ones that I need at the very, very top. So don't cover those 3 beads. It doesn't matter which end, just don't cover 3 beads at either this end or at this end. But anyway, pick up your 3 beads and we're going to come out of this bead and go straight down the bead beside. So there's 2 reasons that we do this. Firstly, it's going to hide all of our brick stitch work along the top. So if I just pull that all the way through, you'll see that's going to just sit really nicely above those other beads. And from this bead here, I'm going to just jump directly beside into the bead along. So if you have a look, my thread, I went down this one. I'm going to go back up the bead beside. So without picking up any beads or anything, it just means that there will be a nice little bridge of thread that goes from one bead to the next, but on the underside where it's hidden anyway. So as we pull that through, you can see my thread will just hide in that little gap. I can pick up 3 more beads, 1, 2, 3, and we're coming out of this bead. We're going to go down the next one. So down that bead just beside it, pull that tight, and we're going to jump across and into the next bead to come back up to add our next little picot. So as we go through there we are, go 1, 2, 3 beads, go down the bead beside, all the way through till it's tight, and then back up the bead beside that one. And we can just continue now adding those little groups of 3 beads every space that we need to until we get to the very, very end. So I'll go through and I will do that because I do want to show you how to add that little piece on the top as well, that little regalia type bit. And then I'll come back and I'll show you how we can do this little drop section. And I'll also show you how we can do the earring top on a little earring piece that I have as well. So you'll get to see all of those different things. So technically, this little tutorial, you'll learn both the pendant, but also the earring as well. So quite informative, as I try to be. So there we go, pull that through. Pick up 1, 2, 3. Go down, the next one. But yeah, we've gone for some like really fun Jubilee themed jewellery, which I think is going to be lots and lots of fun for people to make, but also to wear as well. Like the little Union Jack kite, I think is my favourite. Of the 4 designs, which there's the Union Jack bracelet, this little cameo pendant, the little earrings that go with it as well, and the kite. Which one is everybody's favourite design? So as I work, I'll just put them on the screen for you guys to see just here. What's everybody's favourite? Do we prefer the crystals in the centre? Do we prefer it where it doesn't have the crystals in the centre? Do we prefer it, do you like the kite better? Do you like the, here we go, here's the pendant which we can put a photo into. What's everybody's favourite? What do we like? There you go, see, look, there it is as a photo. You just have to cut it out, which I haven't done yet. There you go, you can do it as a little picture as well, which I think looks really, really nice. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer it as with the photo, or do you prefer it with the crystal drops? Tell me. Comment in while I work away doing these. Oh, and of course, here is a sample piece of the bracelet as well. There's that little bracelet. So yeah, which design of the 4 do you like best? The kite, the bracelet, the little pendant with the photo, or do you prefer the pendant with the drops? And then of course the earring, and then do you prefer the earring with the crystal or without the crystal? Come on everybody, comment and tell me all the ways that you prefer it. What's your favorite sort of design of the group of 4 that you can get? Because mine, I think I'm really proud of my kite design. That one I think is my personal favourite. As for the pendant, I think I really actually think that having a photo in there is super cute. I think it's a really nice little idea for doing that little pendant, just because it gives it that whole extra additional use, if you will, that you've got there. So I'm going to just, by the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just continuing beading while I chat to you. So this is a great time to ask me questions, by the way. So if you've got any questions, now's the time, just while I get myself around. Here we go. Kay says, I like them all. We've got Stephanie who says, I like it with the drops. Colleen says, I really like the the kite, sorry. Jackie says, I like the pendant with the crystals and the kite more than the photograph. Okay, fair enough. Here we go. Another one who says that they like the earrings with crystals. It's a super simple idea, isn't it? But it just makes it so much more effective. Betty says, Betty Bennett, I like the kite too, but they're all so super cute. They're all so cute, says Betty as well. So I'm glad you guys, yeah, Dulcie likes the kite, which don't forget, if you get our kit, I do also have for our Americans, but I'll give it to anybody who wants it, a American flag version of the kite as well, which is blue at the top with white spots, and then you've got red and white stripes at the bottom. That's the other design. I was hoping I would have time to make it, but I apparently don't. But I'm going to do a tutorial. The plan is to do a tutorial that will just be a pre-record that you can go and watch whenever you want on how you actually make that kite piece, because I think it's very, very fun. It fuses a few different techniques together, but essentially that's going to be another video for another day, but that one won't be a live, it'll just be a pre-record. So yeah, I'm getting around my work here. It's not going to take too much longer. We also have the USA flag for designs for those on the other side of the pond. Exactly. Just as I was saying. Which the start of the bracelet. I was starting it because I wanted to test it to make sure it looked all right. This is the start of the USA bracelet, which, wait, I'll have to change it into not right-hand view. There we go. See, this is the U. There's an S that's forming. I've almost got the S happening. There'll be an A as well. What is the size of this ring in the center? I'd say it's a little over an inch by, well, not by too much. Probably, my guess would probably be somewhere in the region of 30 millimeters by 9 or 10 mil on the inside. But the size, you can do it with any size you want, really. You can do it with a bigger one if you prefer. You can do it with a smaller one, whatever you can get a hold of. The same technique works for pretty much any shape. You can even do it with circles. You can do it with squares if you wanted to. It all works. It's all good. There we go. So let's just keep going. I've just got to do maybe 3 or 4 more. And then I can show you how to do that really cool pendant top. And then we'll move on. Kelly McCoy wants to see one of... I would love to see a kiwi bird in a flag. Ex-kiwi, and would love to make one for my mum. I'll see. I'll have to have a look, because I wanted to make an Australian version too. Obviously, being Australian myself, I need to think of a fun way that I could make the design. But I think a New Zealand one with a kiwi would be very fun as well. Here we go. Let's just keep going. Keep going through. And the next few more. We're almost there. So you can see the whole pendant doesn't really take all that long to make. And this little picot, I think, is what really finishes it off to make it look fantastic. Whoops, picked up the beads too early. Make sure as you're doing this that you always go back up the beads beside before you pick up any more beads. So we go 1, 2, 3, down the bead beside. Levita says, boy, am I late. A little bit, but that's okay. If you're like Levita and you've just arrived a little bit late, don't worry about it. As soon as the stream is over, you'll be able to watch it on demand on the Bead Spider website, so you can go back and rewind, fast forward, pause, whatever it is that you want to do. You can even put me in slow motion if you want to. But yeah, that will be ready and available for whomever wants to watch it as soon as the stream is over. So if you don't even have time to watch the whole video now and you want to come back to it later, you can always watch it from the Bead Spider website. I'll show you where, but if you've never been on our website, it's www.beadspider.co.uk to find us. And we have a whole tutorial library of videos. We've got loads and loads of kits, plenty of beads, of course, as well. But yeah, go check us out if you want to. And of course, while you're watching my channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All that jazz. You know the routine. Here we go. So I'm almost there now. Just a few more, possibly one more. Oh, nearly forgot. Don't forget, I need to go back up the bead beside. Bindi says, the pendant is nice. I'm glad you like it. 2, 3. There we are. And now if you have a look, right here at the top, I've got 1, 2, 3 beads. So this is why you need to have an odd number of beads, and to try and take into account that you need to have 3 at the top. So just like this here, there you go. You've got 3 beads at the top, and now we're in position to add that little crown regalia type bit, which I could even try doing it with a second color just to make it look a little more interesting, even if I wanted to. Give it a go. Let me just have a quick look at it. Okay, yeah. All right, fair enough. Let's try that. So yeah, all right, I'm going to try it with 2 colors even. So usually I would say just do it with 1 color because it's easy, but I'm going to see how this looks with 2 colors. I'll do it with the white. So if I come out of here, you pick up 4 beads. So I'm going off piste here. I'm going a bit more advanced just to try it out. So we're going to pick up 4 beads. Usually you would just do them all the same color, but I'm going to try it with 2 different ones. Let's just experiment here to see how it looks, and let's go into that just there, and you can see I've got my 4 beads chilling there at the top. I need to now come back around to this corner here, and the best way of doing that is to just weave through some of these beads and across. So if I was to go down here and up there, I'd be coming down this bead, so that's not the right way. So I'm going to go 1 lower into the row below, so that then when I jump across, I can jump up this bead here and then into the following one as well. So we go up this bead here. I mean, I could even go down into the white ones if I wanted to, but let's go up into this bead. Come on now, Mr. Silver Bead. Trying to get in there. There we go. Into that bead there. Try not to get caught on your edging. And now I'm back up into that purple bead, and I'll go through the very first purple bead as well. So we're going to not go through our 2 central ones just yet. We're going to add them a bit later. So for now, I'm going to go 2 purples. Seeing as I'm doing the 2 color version, we're going to pick up 3 beads. So usually you'd pick up 3 purple ones, but I'm going to go 2 purples and a white. And I'm going to go now through these 2 central beads only, just these 2. Pull that all the way through. And that's going to create a tiny little picot of 3 beads chilling on this on this side just here. So see that? We've got this one little bead that's going to stick out nicely, just like that. I wonder if actually I should have made that bead in the other color. Nah, this will be fine, I think. So we'll go like that there. And now we're going to do the same again, but in the opposite. So we're going to go 1 white one, followed by 2 purples. And now, because I'm coming out of this side, I'm going to pick up my 3 beads and go down this little bead just here. And back into my work down below and the following row. Because essentially, we're going to go round the circle again. Oh, yes, good. We're going to go round this circle once more. So see that? There we go. It's sort of starting to come together. This little, almost like handles holding our crown. You'll soon see it. So we'll go up this silver bead again. And now back up into our work. We'll go 1, 2. I don't need to go into the 3 beads on the edge. I don't think. Do I? No. And I'm going to just go straight through the 2 white ones. So we're following the path that we did at the beginning. Through there. And now back up through just the first bead of that second little group of 3 that we added. So see just there. If I zoom in a teeny bit, hopefully you can see it a bit better. Just this first bead from that second group of 3. So all the way up into there, nice and firm. Now this is the part where we add in our little metal ring, that little rope connector. So I'll grab that little fella just here. There it is. And we're going to connect that now here with, I believe, 5 beads. Let me just check that. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 5 beads. Good. It's always important to check. So I'm going to pick up 5 white beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll see how this 2 color thing looks. I'll thread through my little rope ring like this. Just so that it's hanging there, just sort of in position. There we go. So there we are. It's just on my little group there, see? And here are my 5 beads. Let's go down this little edge bead from the group of 3 before and into the 2 white beads again. So just through there. See, if I move that little metal ring, you can hopefully see I'm just going through those 2 white beads. As I pull that tight, you'll see it's going to create a loop around that little metal ring. See that? So there we have our nice little loop at the top. Our metal ring is now trapped, and if I want to, I can just go back around that little ring of beads that I've just made to secure it. I recommend going through it a couple of times. I'm going to go through it just once more, just to get it a little bit firmer, but I would suggest doing it a couple of times to get it extra strong. If you want to make this little top bit pointy, you could even skip that little bead, but I won't do that just now. There we are, then down. 1, 2, 3. And pull that tight, and now I'm going to just bring this down and back into my work here. So just pull that through, and you can see there we are. There's a nice connection that we can attach our pendant to. So if we are now ready to continue, I'm going to just go back down into this edge and into the row below, like I usually do. There we go. You can see that's a nice sort of nice finish right there. How do you like that? Kay said, I like the colours that you're using. Very pretty. Well, these are the colours of the Queen's upcoming 70th Jubilee. So that's why I chose those particular colours. The Jubilee Union Jack is a purple on the outside with the silver in the middle, and the white is the same. So yeah, let's now come on down to this central pair of beads here. So you can see at the very top we've got 2 little beads here. This is where we're going to add our little drop. So this is the point where you decide whether or not you're going to do a drop or if you're going to put your photo in. So let's just get my thread nice and straight and pull it through. There we go. So yeah, if we have a look at this point, either you can say, do you know what, I'm going to take my little picture here of Leonardo, and I'm going to cut it out to be the right shape and glue that in there very nicely. I mean, you can play with that obviously if you want to, but then there you go. You can keep that as a locket if you want to, and then it is more of the true Cameo style than just the crystal version. But there you go, that's that. Otherwise, if you want to have your crystals super easy, just grab yourself some of these little crystal beads. They come with the kit, of course. They are super shiny. They are double AB. So when you see beads, crystal beads, and they say they've got an AB coating, these ones, they have an AB coating, but then they put them through the machine a second time to give them a double thickness coating. So you can have a look. You see they are absolutely vibrant, really stark, bright, catching all the colors of the rainbow in there. Lovely beads. So I'm going to just take 2 of these for now, and I'll grab a couple of my silver beads now, and we're going to create this little pattern here. So if you have a look, we've got we can do it with the silver or we can do it with the white. So this is what it looks like with the silver. This is what it looks like with the white. It's up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to go with the silver. No, maybe I'll go with the purple even, because I've used purple at the beginning. So I'll start with the purple, and then maybe I'll use silver in the center. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. See, look, here's pattern version number 1, where I've got 2 stripes of silver, then 2 stripes of white, and then the purple. This one I've got a purple, then a silver, then a white, then a silver, and the purple. So it's up to you how you do it. Which design you prefer, whether you prefer it to have like the sort of the stripe in the middle, or if you prefer it as the 3 distinct bands of color. But anyway, just food for thought there. So anyway, I'm going to pick up 2 of my purple beads here. I'm going to pick up 1 of my crystal drops. It's important as well, of course, that we go from the top of the crystal down to the bottom. Otherwise the crystals will be upside down. And then we can just pop that nicely into the center. If you want to just do one tiny little one, that's fine. You can do whatever you want. But I'm going to make it a little bit longer. I'll go with a white one now. And then I'll pick up a second of my crystals. And I'll just slide them down. There you go. That's a nice fill. I think that's a good size in there. I'll pick it up so you can actually see it. Pick it up on my hand is what I mean. There we go. So this is how it's going to look just there in the center. So the two little purple beads cause the dangle with one white one in the middle, and I'll do another white one which is going to be my turnaround bead. So you just pick up one white bead or whatever color you want, it doesn't matter. Levita says, could you make earrings? I already have, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. There's little mini earrings right here. This is a question here from Levita, and Christine says, I love the colors, but yeah, these are the colors that are for Queen Elizabeth II. So because it's her 70-year Jubilee coming up, that's why we've gone for this design here, hence why we've also got the little Union Jack there in the same colors, and we've also got the kite in that same color, which the kite is a brooch. See? Looks really cool. I like that. Anyway, yeah, so now let's go back up this one here, and skipping this last little bead, we're going to go through this one, through the seed bead, and essentially we're just going to go back up exactly the way that we came. Now, there's two different ways that you can do this. If at this very tip section, you only have one lovely bead that's nice and central, you can go, great, I'm going to just go straight back into this one. But because this one, they're not quite central, I'm going to go into the bead beside of it, because then it will sit nicely between these two beads, which is approximately at the center. So if I go through that bead just there, I'm exiting this bead, and I'm going to go back up into this bead, just here. If I can get into it, need to just pop it up a bit. There we go. And get through there. There we are. And now I can just pull my thread all the way through. Try and keep that little bead chilling on the end there. Here we go. Pull, 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 until it's nice and tight. And there you go. One fully finished little pendant. Which you don't need to go through that again if you don't want to, because it'll dangle better if it's a little looser. But there you go. There's that nice finished little pendant. And now all I'd have to do is just weave round into my work to finish this thread off. So if you fancy doing that, you can, but I'm going to jump ahead and show you how to do the top of the earring instead, because I think you'll find that more interesting than watching me weave this thread off. But anyway, essentially you can just tie some little knots as you go and then cut off your thread, and there is your pendant ready to go straight onto, this is the other one because it's already on the piece there, straight onto, you can do it onto a metal chain, but we do also give you that rayon silk. There's that just there. But we do also have, I should mention, of course, if you want your proper royal colours, I do have the red, white and blue option from the link in the description as well. So there's the red, white and blue with the drop and without the drop. And I've got the little Union Jack kite in red, white and blue, which I like that too. Which I'll do a video on that fella. But anyway, so I'll show you how to now do this earring top. So if you have a look, I've got a really nice, clean, neat finish on the top of my earring just here. So if you have a look, there it is. Where's my, here it is. There, now I can see what I'm doing better. See that? It's a really clean finish that we've got our ear wire attached. So I'm going to show you how we do that. So if I just grab my thread, I'll put my other bits out of the way. We've finished the pendant. Yay, done and dusted. But let's now show you how we could have done our earring. So the earring is more or less identical, except we only need to do 3 rows of the circular brick stitch, and then we make our little drop in the center. Once we've got that, we can now bring ourselves to this little top section just here. Depending on if you've got 2 beads at the top or if you've got 1 bead at the top, it just depends on how you can change it. So for example, on this one here, we can see I've got 1 nice central bead. So because there's 1 nice central bead, I'm going to go from this bead to this bead. If you had 2 beads at the top, kind of like at this end, you can go from this bead to this bead, or you can even just do it from these 2 in the center, but it's up to you how you do it. But basically, I'm going to do it from this one here, where I've got 1 bead here, and there's my central bead just there that I'm going to go around. So if we have a look, basically how we do that, we're going to pick up 1 and 2 of my blue seed beads. Then I've got my earring stud just here. There it is. There's my earring stud. And I'm going to go through that earring stud just like this here, and down through these 2 beads back into this one just here. So see that? Back into the very same bead that we started from. This might look a little strange at the beginning because, hey, it's lopsided. It's all off to the wrong spot. Well, we're going to fix that in just a second by adding a second loop. But this one here is now nicely holding that little piece in position. We're going to go back and fix this later, but for now, we aren't. We're going to go down the bead below, then back up 1 and cross into, whoops, so we're going out of this bead, back into the one up beside of it, and then we can go from here into that blue bead at the top. Oops. So there we go. So we've skipped that centralmost seed bead. So now what we'll do is pick up 1 and 2. We're going to go through the loop of our ear wire. I'll pull it fairly tight for now, so that it's approximately in position, see? And my thread, it's coming around the back here. I'll go just loop around without going back through that little loop, without going through the ear wire. We're going to go back down those 2 beads into that little edge there, pull that tight, and that's going to sit really nice and neatly there at the top. Now, if you want to, you can go back and forth, reinforcing this section, but you can also hide it. Oh yeah, that's another question there. Kay said this would be perfect for those in the US for the 4th of July. Exactly. Well, I've got bonus patterns. I've done bonus patterns for anyone who gets our Union Jack set, the Majestic set. I'm also going to give you a set of patterns for doing it for the 4th of July as well. So you've got either option. If you're in the UK or you're in the US, you'll get the patterns for doing it in the 4th of July theme and also for the Queen's Jubilee theme. So it's up to you. We are giving you both patterns. You'll get the USA bracelet. You'll get a USA earring as well. The USA kite brooch pattern, which I should have, I wanted to print them out so I could show them to you, but I ran out of time. So that didn't happen today, unfortunately. But here we go. Ready? This is the cool trick just to get it looking super duper neat. Let me zoom out a little so that it actually stays in focus. Let's go back up now to the other side of our work. It's Gotten a bit cloudy outside all of a sudden, I think. Lost a bit of our brightness. So we'll go up that one, back up our 2 beads towards our little ear wire. See, it's just chilling here. We're going to cover it. So we're going to just pick up 1 little bead and go from one side to the other side, just like this here. And that's going to cover that little front section and give you a much cleaner finish. How do you like that? Oh yeah, that's something I completely forgot, which thankfully Carol mentioned it. We're doing a double discount on the kits. So it actually works out that it's really, really inexpensive, this kit. You can make the bracelet and the earrings and the pendant and the flag brooch as well from the one kit, and it works out £4 per project when you buy our double discount bundle, because you can get it 20% off. So the one kit on its own, they are a £5, I guess, per item. But otherwise, if you get our double discount, you get both colorways, both the red, white, and blue. So if you're wanting to make some 4th of July stuff, the red, white, and blue is great. Or if you want to make it in the traditional red, white, and blue of the UK, that's a great one for that. And then we have our limited edition, which is only going to be available for a couple of weeks. And then after the Queen's Jubilee, it will probably go into it'll be off the website just for those short period of time. So if you want to get the purple colorway, it is just a brief amount of time that you'll be able to get it. So essentially you've got until the Queen's Jubilee, which is just short of a month away, I think. So anyway, there you go. There is the finished second earring to go with our first one. You just have to knot your threads off in the exact same way, and then you've got 2 beautiful earrings. Just pretend there isn't a thread there. 2 beautiful earrings, and you've also got a lovely pendant to go with it as well. And while you're there, if you really want to, you can celebrate hard and also have your kite. And of course, we also have our Union Jack bracelet here too, so you can make that one as well. This one's only partially finished, but it comes with a really great magnetic clasp, but I didn't quite get this finished either, hence why this is done in right angle weave. Lots of different techniques. Right angle weave, we've got peyote stitch, we've got herringbone stitch, we've got some brick stitch, we've got circular brick stitch, we've got picot, lots and lots of different techniques, all in the one kit. So you'll learn all of that, you'll get all the products, you've got the thread, you get the needle, everything that you're going to need, you get all the findings, you've got the crystals, all of it is in there. Let me show you though, if you click the link in the description to check out the products, it's down below if you're on YouTube, up above if you're on Facebook. It will take you to the Bead Spider page if I jump on over to the home page of our website, it's all in the one kit. So if you get our little majestic set, it's the same as going to this little button here that says view all related products. The link will take you to directly that page. So once this is no longer on the home page, you'll still be able to see it. But look, here it is. It makes all 4. So you'll make the bracelet, you'll make the kite, you'll make the earrings, you'll make the pendant. The purple one is the same, but I hadn't made the purple bracelet yet. That's why it's not in the photograph. But you will make the purple kite, you'll make the purple pendant, you'll make the purple earrings, and you'll make the purple bracelet, which I'll show you in a second. There it is there, full instructions, all the beads, the kit, the thread, everything is included, but for 1 week only, you can also get both of them at 20% off. So if you want to get both sets, you get full instructions, you'll be able to make all of those different projects, and you get all of it together, absolutely everything, the purple colorway, which is limited edition. This is only going to be available until the Queen's Jubilee. And you'll also get the Union Jack colorway as well. Both of them are there. But if you get any of these, even if you get just one or you get both, it doesn't matter. We're also going to give you the bonus USA patterns as well. So your 4th of July patterns will come included if you get that as well. So anyway, that's up to you. You can also come on down and get some extra beads. You can choose your own beads. We've got findings here as well. You can go and get those however you fancy. They're all here too. There's ear wires, stuff like that. Whatever you want, you can get them. But otherwise, yeah, the kit just here, 20% off if you get them both, but they do both include all the instructions, thread, needle, all of it. I think there's a list even here, which is written. You've got your seed beads, you've got your 6x8 drops, you've got the oval loop bases, the rope ring connector, you've got brooch back, you've got magnetic clasp, you've got ear wires, you've got neck cord, which is to hang your pendant from, and you've also got your thread and your beading needle as well. All of it is there in the one kit. You can see there's the pendant, there's the bracelet, there's the kite, and I've just made the earrings, but there they are in the bottom corner. Both of them make the full set. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed that one. But yeah, I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make the little kite brooch piece, which I thought was a super cute little idea, which you can do it in the Queen's, the Union Jack colors, or you can do it in the Queen's Jubilee colors, whichever one you like. I'm going to be doing the video on that hopefully soon. I need to get it out as quickly as I can, but you know, life gets in the way sometimes, so I'm hoping to have it out soon. But anyway, thank you all very, very much for watching. Who have we still got here watching? We've got Carol is here, so thanks for watching, Carol. We've got Nancy. She says, thanks, Matt. Gotta go now, though. Thanks for watching, though, Nancy. We've also got Kay, who's here. She says, woot woohoo. Oh, no, that's not where it says it. It's there. Woot woohoo. There it is. Woot woo. Oh, okay. Not woot woohoo. Levita said, thank you so much. We've also got Sandy. She said, thank you for a fun tutorial. See you next time. Well, in case you don't know, Sandy's one of the regulars, and she definitely knows. But everybody else, I will be back. We do our live tutorials every single Friday. So if you come and join me on a Friday, same time, same place. So whatever the time is, an hour and 17 minutes ago, wherever you are now, that is the time that I do these tutorials. That's what time they begin. So give it next Friday, I'll be back again. The Friday after that, I'll be back again. The Friday after that, I'll be back again and again and again and again. And if you've missed millions of my tutorials, I think I've done a couple of hundred by now. Actually, I should show you. On our Bead Spider website, we also have a video tutorial library, which if you can either scroll all the way to the bottom, and there it is, free video tutorials, start watching now. Otherwise, from the menu, kits and tutorials, video tutorials over there on the left. So you've got kits, you've got classes, you've got learning tools, you've got patterns. Underneath that, video tutorials. That takes you to our video tutorial library. And there you go. See that bracelet that I showed you at the beginning? This is what I made last week. The shimmer chain, I did that the week before. Our Entice necklace, I did that the week before. Our Jubilee microcrystal just keeps going back and back and back. And Easter and odd count peyote designs, making shapes with my Delicas. There's that satin bracelet over here is one where I did a bit of circular brick stitch as well. But you can just keep going. Look, angel wings, Christmas trees, pendants, Halloween pen wraps, beaded bells. I don't know, just keep going. There's loads and loads and loads of videos. I'm going to be changing how all of this looks soon to make it even easier to follow. But if you just keep scrolling down, load more, load more, load more. How to make an amulet bag, how to do daisy chain. Keep going down. There's even more even more. Just keep going, keep going. Glamour bracelet, that was a nice one. A beaded poinsettia. Loads of tutorials. Go check them out. Go check them out. But anyway, thank you all very, very much for watching. I hope you had lots and lots of fun. Like I said, I will be back next week with some really, really beautiful designs. Again, another lovely big bundle that will make several different projects. So keep an eye out for that one, and I will see you here next time. If you haven't done so before and you want to set a little reminder or get a reminder sent to you of when my tutorials will be, what the discounts are and so forth, there's a link in the description below which will take you to where you can subscribe to our newsletter. To say thank you for subscribing to anyone who's new, we give you a £5 voucher to try out any of our beading patterns. Whichever ones take your fancy, you can get them for free, £5 worth. So you can get several patterns if you get £2 ones. You know, you can get two £2 ones and a £1 one, 3 patterns, all for free, just by signing up to our newsletter. But anyway, once you're signed up to the newsletter, we send you an email just before we go live with the tutorial saying, hey, we're about to go live, go check us out right now, which also gives you a link to where you can watch it on demand afterwards. But otherwise, a little bit earlier than that, we also usually send you out an email saying, hey, this is what's on sale, go get your big your discounts and so forth, because often things sell out, and that's the best way to make sure you don't miss out. But anyway, thank you all very, very much for watching. I hope you had as much fun as I did with today's tutorial. As I said, I will be back next Friday, so thank you once again for all of you joining and sticking around, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. See you all later, and bye-bye.